Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to go over the advanced tricks or the hardest tricks in Skater XL. I have a big list next to me of all the hardest things I can think of that you can do. A lot of these tips and tricks can be combined together to form even harder tricks. So these are the basics of the hardest maneuvers to do in Skater XL to get stuff done. This whole entire video is going to focus on trick tips, tutorials. There's not going to be much skating. It's going to be me talking and ranting a lot. If you can do these and master these, you will be really good at the game, trust me. I don't think there's any tutorial on YouTube like this right now. This is the most advanced trick tip tutorial in Skater XL. And you can't really do these tricks unless you have the time and experience in the game, so let's do it. With each different tip that I introduce, we're going to start off with a basic tip and then work on it and mold it to even a more advanced trick. So we're going to start with the basics of each component and show you what you can do with them. Just keep in mind, guys, I am using mods in this game right now, so my stats are lower. My stuff is lower gravity, lower pop height, but all the techniques that you see on my controller overlay in the bottom corner is the same that you can do on every single setting in Skater XL. So it doesn't matter what settings you're on. All these techniques can be applied and used the same way on console as well too. So I have the overlay that's in the game just so you guys can watch my feet position. If I go switch or whatever, you can watch my sticks and see what I'm doing. I'll start off with the stick movement. So basically when you ollie in the air, you can move your sticks and you can get some funny stuff. You can get some shifties going. So shifty left, shifty right. But this is how you can do a quick 180. So I go down to my stance, right? And see how I wrapped my sticks outwards? If I wrap my sticks outwards like that, starting from the top down, I'll basically make my guy do a front thigh 180. If I start from the top and wrap them inwards, and keep in mind too, when I'm doing this, the wrapping of the sticks, I'm also holding the trigger too. Whichever side I'm going to, if you just ollie and hold the trigger, you can 180, but how you can add style and speed to your 180s and 360s is by swinging the sticks in a circle. So if I just do a default high pop, hold the trigger, you can 180, and it's all good and fine. But if you want to do a low pop 180 and stuff, I would wrap my sticks in a circle. And this little tiny tip will become useful now. So the next thing we're gonna go over is how to wind your arms up. What I would do is press both my sticks down, hold the trigger of whichever direction you want to go, and then use the technique that you learned with the 180s to wrap your sticks around in a circle. So upward and wrap your sticks in a circle. We did that originally, right? So you basically held your stick down, hold the trigger, upwards, and wrap your sticks in a circle, either outwards or inwards. So when you're doing a 360, basically all you're doing is pressing down both sticks, holding a trigger, pressing straight forward, and that gets you the 180, and the rest of the rotation relies on you moving the sticks in a circle. So down on the both sticks, hold the trigger, press up, wrap your sticks in a circle, and you'll finish the rotation. And if you hold the trigger, you actually do a revert on the ground too to finish the rotation on the ground as well. So yeah, you can basically do it that way. So sticks down, hold the trigger, upward, wrap in a circle. You don't have to wrap in a circle. All these trick tips are just how I perform these tricks. So you could do them. You could do them in a different way if you want. You could, you know, do a rocket 360, land on your back wheels, and turn around. It's actually kind of sick. You can do that, like the rocket 360, turn on the back wheel. But let's just say you wanted to do all these things, but you don't want to do such a high pop. Especially people on console, you might like this a lot. So this is called the medium pop. And what I mean by medium pop, as you might know now, there's low pop, which is one stick down. There's high pop, which is two sticks down. What a medium pop is essentially two sticks down, letting go of the front foot, and then popping. And what that does, it gives you the full animation and abilities that you would have in a low pop. So you can wind your arms up and stuff. But if you let your front foot go and then pop, you can still do the 360, but the pop will be low. So that's a really helpful tip for getting a lot of style to the game. So here's a 360 high pop. Here's a 360 low pop. And all I did was the same technique that I did originally, but I let the front foot go just before I popped. So I had both my sticks down, winded my arms up with my trigger, let go of the front foot, popped, and wrapped my sticks in a circle to do the 360. And you have to do it. It's all about timing too. All about timing. It'll take a lot of practice as well too. And that's how you can do that. And that's basically how you can make turning and spinning really easy in Skater XL. Personally, I use the medium pop on a lot of tricks, almost all my tricks. Every single trick I do is typically a medium pop. So I would basically press my sticks down, I would hold the trigger, I would let go of the front foot, and then pop it, so I can have the full nice fluid animation of him turning his arms and winding up. But the low pop, these, I don't want to pop too high, even though my pop-up is kind of low anyway. So yeah, we went over how to basically do medium pop, how to wind your arms up to do 360s and spin faster. The next thing we're going to go over is how to blunt slide, how to manual revert, and basically how to control your guy's lower body, essentially. The whole entire tutorial here is how to control his lower body. All the way out is a frontside power slide. All the way inward for me is a backside power slide. If I hold the trigger while I'm doing a power slide, my guy will spin in a circle. That's pretty useful if you want to do grinds and like revert out of stuff. It's pretty useful to, you know, add some of that turning stuff. So that will be useful in the future. We'll go over that in a little bit. What I want to get at here is how to blunt slide and how to manual revert, because those two tricks require you to know how to power slide. So all you need to do for this is basically power slide and adjust your sticks to get your tail or nose off the ground. And that's basically a nose blunt right there. I'm holding it. See my sticks? I found the position that I need. If I ollied and landed like this, I would land in a nose blunt. And you can learn them on flat ground, doesn't matter. You can do it the power slide way. So, ollie. That sounded pretty awful, but that's a nose blunt. Also, too, practice that, but don't touch your nose down. Try to find a position that you can, you know, bounce like this. Look at this. I'm basically in a manual. And that's how you manual revert. First thing I'll show you how to do is blunt. You know how to turn your body, right? So basically a blunt is an ollie to a power slide, but you're holding your nose in the air. Right? Same position. And then you can pop it out. There's different ways to blunt too in the game, though that's not the original way that I learned how to do it. The first way I learned how to blunt stall was, or blunt slide, was to pop it, hold the trigger, and press straight down. It's a very, very easy way to learn how to blunt. You just go up, press down, and then you can pop out. You know, that's an easy way to do it. I'll get into why you should learn it the other way, because it will help you unlock more and more tricks, especially 270s out of your blunt slides and stuff. So if you have the blunt slides down, and you know how to basically do this, a power slide with your nose on the ground, you'll want to let go a little bit so your nose isn't touching. And that's how you can manual revert. Manuals in this game are performed with one stick, right? So you would, for nose manual, you would press up on the left foot and just balance, kind of. You can kind of do this too. You can really balance yourself if you want. You know, you can kind of wiggle and stuff. For the revert portion, you have to use the other stick to power slide. So there's two ways you can do this. You can do it this way, by manualing with two sticks instead of one. Power sliding while holding the trigger, letting go of the trigger, letting go of the right stick, and then continuing on with your manual. So it's a very quick power slide, basically. It's a very quick one of these. Very quick revert. All you're doing is this, basically in the manual. But you want to maintain the manual. You can do two sticks to do it, or you can just hold one stick. At the last second, you can do the power slide if you know how to time it and stuff. There's a bunch of different kinds too. You can obviously do like this kind too. There's different kinds of manual reverts you can do. And that's really helpful to learn too. So if you know how to do the manual reverts, not only is it good for manual reverts, but it's good for tricks as well too. So say if you want to do like a really steezy, like tray flip revert, you can actually land on your nose as you would in real life and like kind of spin it around. That was that was terrible. Try one more time. Tray flip revert, that was pretty bad. Switch tray revert, that was a varial flip. Try one more time. Nope. Alright, here we go. Tray flip revert. Switch tray revert. That's pretty ugly, but what you can do with that technique is basically land tricks in the revert. So that was a flat revert. Sticks on the ground. This switch tray, I landed on the wheels and spun, even though it was terrible. I could do it better than that, but it's really useful to do a lot of really cool stuff in Skater XL. Instead of doing like a backside flip into a switch manual, you could basically do a kick flip instant revert, switch manual. So if you're going onto a higher ledge or whatever, it's really useful to do that. And yeah, if you know how to revert and stuff, know how to manual revert, you can also use that in your grinds as well too. So reverting can help a lot with your grinds. The next thing I want to go over is how to turn your sticks to grind. So we kind of touched on a little bit for blunts, so you can, you know, turn your body, turn your sticks to grind. But that's not the only grind you can do them with. You could do, I do all my grinds with turning my sticks. And a little bit of trigger as well too. Not only is it just your sticks, you do use a little bit of trigger. And you can watch my overlay there if you need any help, and maybe watch the video in slow-mo if it helps at all. But say for a backside tail slide, what I can do for this is I can either ollie, hold the trigger and press down, and that's basic tail slide. But when I pop out, I'll pop straight off in the direction of my tail slide. What I would prefer to do, and what looks a little bit better in my opinion, is turn your body, your lower body, and then by the time you pop out, you'll pop out the same way that you came in as. That's a pretty bad example, but yeah, that's basically how it works. So turn your body, tail slide, bump out of it. So here's a low pop one. That's pretty sick. So you can like go in like that. You can either pop out, you can bump out. How you bump out of grinds too, I'll explain that really quickly because I just did it. So you can press your stick down to hold the tail slide. If you let go, you'll pop out. If I go in a tail slide here and press the stick down, I'll bump out. The next thing we're going to talk about is torquing. So if you know how to turn your body, this is why turning your body into grinds is useful. More useful than doing it any other way. So if I do that backside tail slide and pop it out, I pop back out straight. If I do a back tail slide, the trigger, I pop out this way. If I want a 270 out of a backside tail slide, it would be easier to do it with the turn method like that, because all I have to do is a 180. If I did the tail slide this direction, this way, I'd have to 270 out like that, and it'd be kind of tough. It does work, but you have to revert it kind of. It's hard to get it all the way around. So what I would do is turn my lower body to tail slide like this, and while I'm grinding, you see how I'm holding the trick? While I'm grinding, I would hold the left trigger to torque my body. It's hard to do it that slow. I have to do it quickly for you guys. But basically, if you turn your lower body in one direction and hold the trigger in the opposite direction of which you were turning your lower body, so my upper body's turning to the left, my lower body's turning to the right, I'll build up torque, and when I pop, it'll be a very quick 270. That was pretty slow, so let's do it one more time. This is how you can do it. And that was it. So I turned my lower body to the left, I torqued to the right, and you can see my legs winding up almost for that too. See that? So I turned my sticks, so my guy was angled, my lower body was angled to the right, but I held my triggers to the left, so we started torquing up. And that's a bit too much torque. You see that my guy had way too much torque there. But when you pop out, it lets you whip out of it. So you can actually do 270s out of grinds and stuff without even too much effort at all. And even with that technique, you can actually 270 out of grinds and stuff without even popping. It's not only good for 270s, you can do that on all your tricks. So say I want to do a nose grind revert on this ledge here. So here's a basic nose grind. I'm pressing and doing an ollie, pressing forward to nose grind, and then when I get off the ledge, I'll revert by wrapping my sticks in a circle and holding a trigger. So basic nose grind revert, and most of the revert was on the ground. What I can do though, this is going to be very tough to wrap your head around, but I can nose grind, turn my sticks, see how my sticks, if I turn them into the inside, it turns to a crooked grind like this. If I countered that with the trigger, I can keep him aligned in a nose grind. So if I find the right position where I find the balance between the turning of the lower body and upper body, I can make him torque without even changing the trick. So if I quickly do that while I'm nose grinding, I can torque him up. So when I come out of the grind, I'll do a 180 before even hitting the ground. So instead of doing this and reverting on the ground, I can load his lower body one direction and his other body the other direction. So when I come out of the grind, it's a quick thing. So here's that trick. I went up, nose grinded. I kind of torqued his lower body to the left. You can see it there actually a little bit. Kind of see it, but that allowed me to open my shoulders up and get ready for this nollie frontside 180. And I completed the whole entire 180 before I even hit the ground. So you can torque up for any grind. That's good for mini ramp tricks as well too. You can torque up in mini ramp tricks. It's good for combining tricks into one too. If you want to do multiple grinds on one ledge, you can use the torque method to essentially turn your guy's body to a different grind. Another little tip to do multiple grinds in one, I'll go over this quickly. I don't think I even touched on this at all, but you can determine your pop-out direction by clicking the triggers. So by default, I pop out the same side of the ledge that I came in on. So if I'm in a grind like this, like a crooked grind, and I press the right trigger while I'm grinding, by the time I pop out, I'll pop out over the ledge. So crooked grind, right trigger, I'll pop over the ledge. If I press both the triggers at the same time while I'm grinding, I'll pop straight forward. That's basically it. We went over everything, I think. We went over how to wind up. We went over how to medium pop and how to combine that with tricks. Most of my tricks in the game, I use medium pops for everything. It's just a really cool tip to use for style. We went over blunt slides, went over manual reverts and stuff, flip trick reverts, turning the sticks to grind, went over that. A lot of these tips are also very useful for the transitions too. We didn't go over half pipe and stuff, but it also applies there too. So the same way that you can turn your guy's body like this is how you can, you know, grab and tweak your guy's body in grabs too. We talked about 270 torquing, so you know, torquing yourself at a 270s. So if all these tips, if you've mastered these tips, you can combine these techniques into one trick if you want. Not all of them into one. But here's a good example of combining these tips into one trick. So I'll try to do a frontside tail slide, pop forward, land in a nose slide, bump it out. So that's 4 different things in one. So I'll basically, I think it's 5 actually. What I'm gonna do here is go up, ollie, turn my guy's lower body to the left, do a tail slide, press both triggers to make him pop forward, then I'll pop, wrap my sticks in a circle to do a 180, land in a nose slide, hold the nose, and then press the stick to bump out. Whew. That was a really bad example, but I mean, that's basically a lot of those techniques put into one trick to give you an example of kind of a more technical trick in Skater XL. What I did was ollie, turn my sticks inward to do the frontside 90-degree 180 thing, land in a tail slide. As I was sliding, I pressed both my triggers at the same time to make them pop forward. So when I did this pop, I popped straight forward. While I was popping, I wrapped my sticks in a circle, the same way that I did the 180s earlier, landed in a nose slide, and then clicked the stick down to bump out of it instead of popping. So that's 4 different things in one that we learned today. Turning the body, pop out direction, wrapping your sticks to 180, and bumping out of a grind. That's basically how you can do that. Alright, so that's basically it for the tutorial, I think. We covered the hardest things to do in Skater XL. If you guys have any questions about anything at all, or want to see any other trick tips, maybe message me in Discord or let me know in the comments below or something. But yeah, hopefully this guide helped you guys out today. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. Other than that, if you guys want to come by the Twitch channel, it's always a good time hanging out playing Skater XL. I'm streaming every single day. So if you have any questions at all, come by the Twitch channel. I can answer it for you live and maybe show you how to do it right on screen, right on Twitch. But yeah, other than that, guys, hopefully the video helped you out. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.